Every once in a while, a book comes out of nowhere that just completely knocks your socks off. That's this one, Strange Pictures by Uketsu. And can you see him down there? Uketsu! That's right, that's him in the crazy mask. The back cover has got another picture of him. There he is. He looks like a foot soldier from the Turtles or something. Let me read a little snippet about this person. About the author, it says, Uketsu only ever appears online wearing a mask and speaking through a voice changer. He has more than 1.5 million followers. His innovative sketch mysteries challenge readers to discover the hidden clues in a series of sinister drawings. A blah 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 sold nearly 3 million copies in Japan since 2021, and Uketsu's true name and identity still remain unknown. Kind of crazy. Never heard of this person. I really do need to check out that YouTube channel though. And it says him, but how do they know if it's a him or a her? If he's talking with a voice changer. Strange Pictures. What you see on the cover, some of these pictures are the pictures within the book. This book is really a series of 3 stories that all kind of happen within one bigger story. So let me talk about those stories. You first get a story about a guy who decides to start writing a blog. It's like 2009, he's gonna write a daily blog, talking about random stuff, what he does, what he eats. Then one day his wife becomes pregnant. So then the blog becomes about her pregnancy, becoming a father, da 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 da. And then there's complications. They don't get better, and it comes time for the baby to be born. And then the blog stops. Until 3 years later, there's one post, and let me pull up my notes here. It starts something like this. After 3 years of no posts, there's one post that starts with, "To the one I love most," and then it goes into, "I see what was going on with those drawings you were making. I can never forgive you, but just know that I will always love you." Interesting. And that's it for story number 1. Then we go into story number 2, and story number 2 is about a single mom raising her young boy. The father he passed away when the boy was 3, I believe, so it's just the mother and son. She's working most of the time. She, by the time she gets off work, it's late, and someone's, just waiting at the school with her son. She feels bad for that and all that stuff. And then one day, she goes to pick him up, and the teacher says, "Do you have a moment? Do you come take a look at something your son drew?" And she's like, "Oh, okay." And the teacher asks her, "Is there anything going on at home recently?" And she's like, "No." And she shows her the drawing that her son drew. And do we have it here? Yeah, it is on the cover. It's this one. You can see a mom and a boy next to a building, which is their apartment building, but their apartment is blotted out in black. Well, that's kind of creepy. Has no idea why he would have drawn that picture. Well, they start to be followed by a man. 1 day, 2 days, followed closer and closer, and eventually as they get back to her apartment, he comes into the apartment building, but he's like hiding in the stairwell doorway as she goes into their apartment. And then one day she wakes up and her son is missing. They find him, he had just been wandering around in a cemetery. And that's where I'm going to leave it with that one. So, first one, blog writer. Second one, single mother. Son makes a creepy drawing. Man is following them. Son decides to wake up one morning without telling his mom and go off to the cemetery. Oh, okay. And then what's the last one? The last one is an art teacher. This one actually jumps back like 20, almost 30 years in the past. And it's an art teacher who goes for a hike and winds up dead. All the suspects they have of who could have done this is they all have alibis for the time that they could have killed him, gotten down from the mountainside. Everybody has an alibi. It's a total mystery. The only weird thing they find is that at some point while he was up on the mountainside, he drew a picture of the mountainside, the scenery, how the mountains looked, and like a fence post. But the picture, the little tiny thing he drew it on, is all folded up, and it makes no sense. Why did he draw this picture? And being an art teacher, it wasn't a very good picture. They showed examples in the book. They actually show examples of his drawings, and you're like, wow, that looks professional. But this picture is kind of off. What gives? So yeah, those are the three strange stories you get. Of course, you learn how they're all interconnected, from the one in 2009 to what happens, I think it goes up to like 2015, and then the story with the art teacher already all the way back in like 1992. They're all connected somehow. And that's for you to discover. You don't have to piece it all together yourself. By the end of the second story, you figure out how the first two are connected. And then by the end of the third one, you figure out how it's connected too. And then after those three, it kind of gives you the story, the backstory of what's really going on. And it's just so well done. And I know I'm probably making too much of it. It feels like a movie I've seen before, where it's like a murder mystery or a psychological thriller, and pieces start slowly coming together, things that seem to have nothing to do with each other. It seems like a common enough story, but just the way, I don't know, maybe it's just been a long time since I've experienced something like this. It was just so awesome how everything just kind of click, 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 clicked into place. And they, even by the end of the book, when people are having they are still having revelations about, oh, remember how we talked about this? It turns out maybe we were slightly off and it really meant this. And I really want to talk about spoilers, but I won't. This is one, if you like, is it truly a murder mystery? I guess parts of it. It's just, to me, it's just a mysterious psychological trip. That's how I would explain it. It is so good, so simply put together, but just awesome. Just awesome. It's just a really good story. So I'm going to stop there with no spoilers. I'll talk spoilers a little bit. I'm not sure how many people have read this book. If you have, awesome. I'd love to hear from you. But if you haven't read it and I've convinced you to go pick it up, go pick it up. It's really good. But we're going to go into spoilers. So like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Spoiler time. All right, so let me get out my phone here. I thought it was interesting and clever that the very first one with the pictures, and they're numbered in a weird sequence, and then you had to put them on top of each other to figure out what was going on. And when I first saw the picture of the lady with the baby, I thought she was like, it was like a stabbing, like she was stabbing the baby into the woman. And they say, oh no, that's like the cavity, and she's pulling her out. I'm like, oh, okay. And then the other two, with the man and the boy, you're supposed to think it's the father, Haruto, the father in the boy. But then by the end, it seems like, oh, maybe it was that reporter and the boy. So that was kind of interesting. I did like how those two students were like figuring things out, and how the one person pretty much knew everything, but they were letting their friend figure things out. That was kind of fun. And then the second story with the mom and the boy, I liked again the part where they're like dissecting how the drawing was made, that he first drew the rectangle and then erased a bit and then drew the windows on top. They could tell by how fresh or how clear some of the lines worked. I like the little stuff about that, about the drawings, about the girl, the very first one, the smiling girl, and she had to really work on her smile. That was really good. But yeah, the second one was good. You know how he was saying draw a picture of your mama. He was going to draw the tombstone. Oh, that was good stuff. Good stuff. And then the whole hiking one, and how they find out. Oh, what was the other guy? Like Tokoyama, the other guy, the jealous guy. He was actually going to kill him, and he went up to the side, but then he saw Naomi do the deed, and then of course he gets what he wants, and he's doing all that stuff. I thought that was an interesting twist to an already messed up story. So yeah, man, this was just all so good. And then to top it all off with Naomi's story about being a kid, and it starts with her father. Her father, it said committed suicide, right? And then her mom changed, and we get that hard line of, it should have been you. What's that, mommy? It should have been you. Wrong person died, and you're like, ooh. All right, this is where it starts. The mom goes dark. The kid, Naomi, she's trying as hard as she can to make her mom happy. It's not working. Come home one day to the bird being strangled, and then just bludgeons her mom to death, which I don't know, that birdhouse or something she threw at her must have been pretty sturdy, because you would have thought, like, wouldn't the mom be able to fight back better than to let her kid stomp on her throat like that? Like, where's the survival and the fighting instincts? Unless the mom was kind of giving up because her life was already she felt it was over anyway. But that was kind of weird. The double stomp on the stomach though, with the bile coming out. Whew. So that was good stuff. And then she grows up, and then how it connects again with Haruto and Yuki, her husband's former student, and then she gets told again about how she loved uh, the father, and then she gets pregnant, and that darkness. They talk about the darkness swelling up. She can feel it. Push it down, suppress it. But then the darkness eventually wins and comes out into the salt pills and kills her. But it talks, because we kept trying to think, why would Yuki draw those pictures? And then we found out, oh, she saw it in Naomi's eyes, the evil, the desire to kill or whatever, and she couldn't express it to anybody because it would sound totally nuts. It made sense why the charts were changed, because Naomi worked at the clinic or whatever, so that all made sense how she could just get away with it. And then it's interesting. It feels like those stories where someone is so obsessed with protecting someone that they're just willing to kill anyone who gets in their way. It's like, no, this is my boy. I'm going to do whatever it takes to protect him, including killing you, and you. And then eventually, all that protecting, what it really did was just push the only person she ever really truly cared for, other than her father, pushed him to kill himself. Man, that's rough. That's rough. And then, of course, she's got the kid, and she's got to do the same thing with the kid. I thought it was interesting that the guy let her stab him. He talked about putting the vest on before it went on, but he's like, no, I want this to be as bad as possible. And I don't know if I could have done that. But that was really interesting. And then, of course, we get the therapist. The book opens with the house and the girl and the tree, and the therapist is talking about, or the psychiatrist is talking about, look, there's no door on the house because of this. The smile is all smudged and tried again because of this. The spiky branches, the bird inside. And then she was like, oh, I see now, I got that wrong. Once she learns that Naomi wasn't rehabilitated, and she said, oh, the spikes were to protect the bird from Naomi. So all those little things, it's simple. It's nothing revolutionary, right? It feels like something I've read or a movie I've seen before, but it just all came together so well, so simple and easy. I just loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I will definitely, he's got other books. There's one called like Strange Buildings and Strange Houses. I am definitely going to pick another one up. And even if it's a very similar process and a similar layout, it was just so good. So good. So if you have read it, let me know down below what you think about it. If you've read his other books, if you've seen the YouTube channel, let me know what it's like. Yeah, I'm gonna pick up more of these, and whatever I read next, it has some big shoes to fill, because this was awesome. I'll see you next time.